Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, the 13th race, the Coastal Financial Truck Series presented by Racing Revolution. This time here from the beautiful Kansas Speedway. Should be a fun one here tonight. If you're expecting to see this race live, I am sorry to say it'll be posted a little bit later. Some bit of an issue with the stream going up, but we're recording. This will be available for all the viewers here in a little while. I'm your host and producer, Morgan Cook, and you are watching Vspeed. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe here to the channel and the video. You don't want to miss a moment of this great racing action that you catch here on Vspeed. Let's have a chat about this racetrack. The Kansas Speedway, 1.5 miles in length, variable banking in the corners. I believe it's 15 on the bottom, 16 in the middle, and 17 up on the high lane. Allows you to run whichever lane you choose and be competitively fast in all three of them. One of the few tracks in iRacing that gives you that ability. Should be a fun one here tonight. Let's have a look at our schedule. We are down near the bottom, just past Memorial Day bye week. Race number 13 of the season in Kansas. Next week at Daytona is going to set your playoff drivers. Then we go to Old Atlanta, New Hampshire, Homestead, Dover, Auto Club, and Las Vegas to determine who your champion this season is going to be. It could be a great number of drivers here. Jeremy Burns has won 7 or so times this year. I don't know if that number can be counted high enough to tell you how many times he's won a race this season, but it has been a good number, and we'll see if maybe it's another Jeremy Burns show here tonight, or will somebody else regain the throne here in this series. It's just about time to find out. we're going to get down to the grid here. Let you know who starts where for this race tonight. Starting on the pole. How about your Charlotte winner? Grant Turner, Dakota Floyd, to his outside. All these times very close together on the speed chart. Third position tonight is going to belong to Jacob Sirkovich. Grant Thorpe will start to his outside in fourth. Row 3 is made up of Trevor Keith and the aforementioned Jeremy Burns starting in sixth. Seventh tonight, Kevin Orlando Jr., Tyler Harrison starts eighth. In your top 10, Caleb Gilbert and Kyle Diaz. 11th spot, Nick Alves, Christopher Schaefer will start in 12th. 13th tonight belongs to Justin Ritchie, who may be a start park, dealing with an illness right now. Parker Johnston will start 14th. And last place on your grid tonight, Alex Forget-Berube will start in the 15th spot in that number 19 machine. Now let's get down trackside. See what our drivers have in store for us. There is a shot looking down at this Kansas Speedway. There are the trucks as they roll off the grid. Let's have a look at your race analysis. It's the perfect time to do so, as we should be going green at the conclusion of this lap. Race length, 125 laps. Should be a pretty long one here tonight. Pit road speed is 45 miles an hour. Going to have to be careful of that. Not the most difficult pit road to get onto, but very easy to speed if you think you can carry a little more speed than you actually can. 5 power sets available. I do not expect we'll use anywhere near that tonight. I believe we have 2 green white checker attempts with a stage and lap number 30, meaning this 33 to 37 laps of fuel will not come into play in the first stage. And we're on the fixed setup, as we always are in this series. Pace car has got him lined up. Turner on the bottom, Floyd on the top. Here at Kansas. Where will the dominant line be? Something we're going to talk about all night. Could be the bottom, could be the top, could even be the middle. I've seen it here. Barnes, the green flag in his hand. We're racing in Kansas. Wide for the lead and 3 wide right behind him. Grant Turner's going to lead lap number 1. But Burns, Sirkovich, and Harrison are 3 wide behind these guys. Sirkovich going to clear ahead on the bottom. Oh, he's going to get loose. He's going to save it. Yes, he will save it. Back up into traffic. Great job not wrecking that truck. He's going to lose all that track distance. We're still 3 wide for the lead up here. Turner in the middle, Floyd on the high side, Thorpe on the bottom. These trucks are going to have a lot of grip at this point in the race. You get 4 or 5 laps to really, really push these things before it hurts the tires. Allows you to keep it pinned wide open as Thorpe's going to clear easily here. Harrison with an aggressive block in front of Turner. Floyd's so happy to be on the outside lane. Trevor Keith going to try his luck through the middle here. Floyd's been married to that top side so far in this race. We'll see if he's going to be content with that. So we have a quick look at the weather. It plays a big role here. 82 degrees on the racetrack means that you can run the bottom with success at this point, although with as the tires wear out, momentum will be important on the top side. Still have not seen Dakota Floyd get away from the high line. A little further back in the field. Another topside compadre, if you will, Kevin Orlando Jr. in the 10th position. He is happy to run the high side as well. Let's have a look. Come on board the Starry machine. We've become so accustomed to here at Racing Revolution, both the Truck and the Cup Series. There's a little ground here off the corners. He tried to run the bottom, didn't work out for him. But this this Kansas Speedway in the trucks, it behaves more like a Atlanta, the new Atlanta, a Daytona sort of restrictor plate kind of racetrack with a little bit of handling characteristic as the run goes on. Really, you're more worried at this point about, you just want to stay as close as you can to the drivers around you. And then once those tires start to wear, you just hope that you can pick them off one by one. That's all you're really hoping for here. Like if you're Trevor Keith and you've already worked up 3 spots through the field, as well as Harrison, as well as Schaefer, you are happy to ride in the top 5 right now and just hang out here. Because you have some pretty good clean air and you're still in the draft. And if your tires start to go the wrong way, you have a little bit of time to be able to save them. Whereas if you're somebody back here, like obviously Surkovich, who had his incident off of turn 2 on lap number 1, he is a ways behind the field. He can't, like the next car is halfway down the backstretch and he's in the outside wall. So he doesn't have the draft to be able to keep him up there at the front of the field, even though he is running about the same lap times as the leaders. Look a little further up here to Justin Ritchie, hanging out with Caleb Gilbert, 13th and 14th respectively. Not respectively. Anyway, they're back in the field here. They're just kind of biding their time, just waiting to see if the tires are going to come in. This back 4 is really doing that. Whereas Trevor Keith is not waiting for anything. He wants to go get that spot, and he's going to possibly get it here. Off of turn 4, looks like to the line. He did get it. Keith got that lead. He will lead that lap. We're still side by side for the lead here. Who is going to take it as we work lap number 9? Coming up to a third of the way in the stage. TK gives a bit of a pinch to the bottom. Can Thorpe get back to his quarter? No. Trevor Keith's going to lead this lap. He's going to take the lead all the way down to the bottom. Going to gap it out by about a truck length and a half as Thorpe falls back into the clutches of Tyler Harrison. A little ways back here, Christopher Schaefer, about half a second. And Dakota Floyd has still not left the high side. Still very content to run up there. And for good reason. He was the fastest truck on the racetrack that last time by. Let's see maybe what Dakota Floyd is doing differently than all his competitors to ride on board the Gorilla Glue number 57. You hear how much on throttle time there is. Just constantly on throttle here. As we are just about 3 wide for the lead again. Oh, Trevor Keith, aggressive move. Thorpe into the back of him. Here comes Harrison. These 3 drivers not willing to let the lead be settled. Can maybe Christopher Schaefer jump into this battle as well? Dakota Floyd, the rest of the field. Harrison off the top. Oh, off the top rope. Cross him over, through the middle, thread the needle, whatever you want to call it. Harrison from 3rd to 1st on the backstretch. Great work as Thorpe with a bit of an issue on exit. Schaefer's going to get him. Move Schaefer up to 3rd. Great run for the 23. As the tires are now starting to change. The fast lap of the day was a 31 flat by Tyler Harrison. The last lap of the race for your leader was 8/10 off the pace. Should tell you all you need to know, tires are going to be everything here tonight. Here comes Dakota Floyd ripping the high line, trying to push Schaefer through. Oh, aggressive side drift, he's going to get Schaefer. Grant Thorpe got into the side of him. Schaefer's in the outside wall. Caution is out on the speedway. That is exactly what Jacob Surkovich needed. There's the 5 machine. What a tough break for the 23 of Christopher Schaefer. Let's go back and see what happened to that machine. We kind of saw it live. Let's maybe get a better view of it here from a higher up vantage point. So we can see here, I don't know, I don't think Schaefer knew that Thorpe didn't go below the white line. There is no obligation as the car on the bottom to go below that white line. It's just a choice you can make. So let's ride on board here with Grant Thorpe and see. So this is into turn 3. So he's following Trevor Keith. A little damage on the right rear of Trevor Keith from that move from Harrison. Going to make that thing awful to drive. So you don't have to go below the line here. And I think Schaefer expected Thorpe to go down there because it is a little faster, but it can be a little harder on the tires. And of course, that's going to put Schaefer around backwards into the outside wall. The good news is that damage looks minimal on the right rear. The bad news is if he doesn't get it fixed, you can see it. We'll see it probably better from the gearbox here. The left side on your screen, the right side of his truck, is bent, and that is going to make that thing awful at speed. It is going to be very difficult to keep it on the racetrack. Back here for pit stops as a good chunk of the field decides it's pit stop time. Halfway through stage number 1. Going to burn that first set of tires, starting off with Tyler Harrison, who was your leader. Trevor Keith as well. Grant Turner, Nick Alves, Caleb Gilbert, Justin Ritchie, Jacob Sirkovich, and Christopher Schaefer, obviously, with the damage, all going to take some time. Puts 4 fresh Goodyears on this thing, fill up with Sunoco Racing fuel, and get the sheet metal pulled out. Drivers stay out. It's a split decision. Dakota Floyd leads that group. Grant Thorpe, Jeremy Burns, Kyle Diaz, Alex Forget, Parker Johnston, Kevin Orlando Jr. stayed on the racing surface. So, now we get to see how much are new tires worth in a run here. We'll see Justin Ritchie also with looks like a fuel-only stop, potentially 2 tires, so he's going to get a bunch of track position. Should be 1 to go this time by. Field's about to double up here behind the pace car. Yes, we will go green this time by. So, we'll set it up for you with a little race recap here. First caution of the day, 4 lead changes already amongst a number of drivers. Dakota Floyd, the latest leader. Grant Thorpe led some. So did Trevor Keith, as well as Tyler Harrison. Those were your leaders today. I think Grant Thorpe actually led a couple laps as well. So a few drivers leading laps here today. Track temp has gone up just a little bit, 83 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is simply because of these drivers running on the racetrack. Their tires put heat in this racetrack, which is part of what makes Kansas so great, is that when one line heats up by everyone running it, you can run a different one, and for a few laps gain a bunch of speed because you have a bunch more grip than everybody else. So see if that plays a factor here tonight. Somebody changes lanes drastically at any point, but here we are on the drone cam into the Geico restart zone. Floyd's going to launch, and he is going to get the launch here over Grant Thorpe. Land rush down to turn number 1 is going to see Floyd lead over Jeremy Burns. Oh, Burns got to the outside. Floyd can't do anything about it. The first time we've seen the 57 on the bottom. He might not lead this lap. Is he going to send it in there? Is he going to go up the racetrack? Yes, he will. Let Forget get to the middle. And how about Harrison rocketing to the front on the new tires? I think he just passed about 8 cars in 1 lap. He's going to go to the bottom. He should be able to sail around Dakota Floyd and take the lead back. Somebody's spinning. Is that Trevor Keith? No. He did not. I heard some tire sliding. I think he is okay. Harrison now clears Floyd and put the fresh tires up to the front of the field. Another driver to keep an eye on here, Grant Turner on the fresh ones. He should be able to make a pass here right away. Everyone who didn't pit right now probably shaking their head thinking, uh-oh, I made a mistake. As Floyd's able to get right to the back bumper here of Harrison. I think Harrison saved it a little bit in case this thing goes green. Floyd goes to the outside. Still hanging tough. Not be able to get to his outside here. Ooh, truck got tight in the middle. You saw it, Jeremy Burns. That's going to put them 3 wide a little further back, and they fanned out in a big way. How about Schaefer below the line, which is legal here, I should add. He's going to try and get a spot away. He's going to get a bunch of spots, actually. As Harrison has gapped it out by 0.3 of a second in front of the field here. Good battle, as Kansas will always provide. How about Nick Alves, too? I haven't talked with him all day. He finds himself up in 3rd. Caleb Gilbert as well. Little strategy call working out for the 24 and the 54. How about the driver who almost spun on lap number 2? This guy right here, Jacob Zurkovic, up to 5th in the 5. Had a great start. Got a little bit loose on the seam here. It almost all went away for him. But he was able to save that truck all the way down the backstretch and avoid any major damage. Harrison leads, but not for long as Nick Alves dives to the bottom. Harrison with the momentum up top. It's going to be a drag race at the line. Give that one to Alves. One more time. Down to the bottom. Not clear. Oh, wow. We are going at it for the lead. We're going at it for 3rd as well. The 7 and the 54. Haven't decided who's going to take that spot either. Either of Zurkovic and Schaefer, a couple drivers who have been fast at the start and at the front of the field here. As Floyd and Berube, a couple drivers on old tires, battle it out for the 6th position. All these drivers in line for stage points. Nick Alves, who is in a fight to make the playoffs. He is currently, if I'm not mistaken, on the cut line. This is going to help him significantly. The driver he's battling is Kyle Diaz. Diaz, of course, in the 12th position. There's a look at the 26 JBL machine. The other driver they're fighting, ironically, is me, actually. They'll catch me tonight. Next week, maybe a different story. Stay tuned for that one, folks. Still having a great battle here. Trevor Keith has gotten around Dakota Floyd. That is for the 6th position. As the drivers on the older tires have all cycled back to 7th or worse. The only driver to pit and not get around them, Justin Ritchie, who only took fuel, possibly 2 tires. Regardless, not 4 tires for this 6 machine. So every driver who is on 4 tires, including Zurkovic on 2, they are up at the front in the top 6 positions. The battle's not over yet. Should close in on 4 laps remaining in the stage. Alves leads. Harrison right behind him. Harrison is peaking. He's trying everything he's got. Gonna get to the outside wall significantly here. Turner to the bottom. Harrison, he tried it, it didn't work. Now, how bad is the damage on the 45? That was a pretty hard hit. Does Turner have anything for Nick Alves? These drivers, if I'm not mistaken, locked in a photo finish last week. Alves and Turner. I think I did my homework correctly there. Turner for sure. I believe the car finished 2nd was Alves. Turner with a phenomenal run off the corner. Look at him close in. Now where does he go? 1 lap to go in the stage. Off of turn 4 here. Another great run for Turner. Where does the 7 go? He's got one more lap to get this thing done. To the high side. He's not quite going to get there. Maybe he will. He is going to get there. They're going to wreck. He's going to wreck for the lead. Here comes Harrison to the bottom. Caution is out. That will be the stage. Grant Turner is going to win stage number 1 in dramatic fashion. Two cautions, both technically for cause. 7 lead changes here with Grant Turner being the one to take the stage win. Nick Alps, he will finish 6th in the stage. Not helping the points battle for him at all. A couple drivers we might want to talk to here a little bit later in the show. Regardless, Grant Turner going to win stage number 1. Now is where the strategy changes. Half the field burn a set of tires, although I don't think it's going to make a difference at the end of the race. But half the field have an extra set. So what does that mean for the remainder of these 125 laps? Drivers coming down pit road here. A few drivers stay out on the racetrack. Schaefer getting his lap back, in fact. Schaefer going to get that lap back. Another 14, nose to tail down the pit lane. Who will win the race off of pit road? Everyone looks like they get into the box clean. Don't see anyone having to back up or move around. There goes the 54, but here comes the 7, looks like. Turner got him by inches. Sirkovich, Berube, Floyd, Ritchie, everyone now on the same tires. Harrison took some time to repair damage. Well, let's talk with our stage 1 winner, Grant Turner. Hey, Grant, Morgan up at the Vspeed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, well, stage 1 winner, I think. A bit of an interesting finish there off of turn 2. What'd you see?
Nick was trying to pull a slide job move. He actually just apologized to me, saying it was on him. So it was good, hard racing, and hopefully we can use this momentum to do good in the rest of the race.
Fantastic. This is going to help the points, of course. 10 bonus points for you, as well as a playoff point, if I'm not mistaken, going to help you get through the last 2 races of the regular season here. So we got this race, which is basically like a mini Daytona here in the trucks, and then actual Daytona next week. What do you what's in store for us here as we build towards the playoffs?
I think fun, exciting racing. It's definitely going to be one to watch. I guess you might be broadcasting somewhere else because I don't have the broadcast up.
Yes, we are recording. There's a technical issue.
Understood. Yeah. I apologize.
No, that's all right. This will come out at the conclusion of the event. No worries about that. We are definitely want to show this great racing here on Vspeed. While we still got you, anyone you want to shout out before we go green?
Sponsors of the league itself, gamer subs for the energy. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Grant. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's your stage 1 winner, Grant Turner. Congratulations to him here as we get going back racing here with 33 laps complete. Going to be working lap number 34. Turner into the restart zone. Gilbert on his outside for the first time tonight. Late launch for the 7. It's a good one. Turner's going to get away clean. battles for second. Look at that. 54, 19, 5. Under a blanket. Remember the first run. 3 wide for multiple laps. And the tires didn't really seem to fall off until other drivers put fresh ones on. That lap disparity was about 15, meaning if we were going to caution here, you're taking tires every time. Don't even think about staying out here. Sirkovich regaining his early race form, back up to the second position. He's going to go try and hunt down the leader here. A little further back. 27, Kevin Orlando Jr., Dakota Floyd, Justin Ritchie trying to work together here. Oh, another spin. It's the same thing for Schaefer. Schaefer gets turned again. This time, he keeps it pointed the right direction. Let's go back and check it out. I think it might have been the same driver again. It might have been Grant Thorpe. You see that 23 is out of control, loose right now from the blimp. It is exactly the same thing as before. My goodness. Back here to the live shot. He's fallen 8 seconds behind the pack. Nick Alves is currently a lap down. Sirkovich took the lead away under that replay from Grant Turner. He now leads by about a 10.5. Closest battle on the racetrack here. This side-by-side duel. 27 of Orlando, 15 of Trevor Keith. Keith's going to take the spot away. Next side-by-side battle, you saw it in the frame. Ritchie and Burns, the mountain man, as well as Johnston trying to make some noise. Here's Kyle Diaz peeking in the picture. Now the question we ask ourselves is, can we make it? What lap can we make it to on fuel? Let's bring up the race analysis again just to remind ourselves that we can go between 33 and 37 here on fuel. So if my calculations are correct, we should be able to go to about lap 65 here. And then a 2-stopper to the end, potentially. Maybe stretch into a 1-stopper. It's Trevor Keith trying to get one more here. Let's ride on board. Off the back bumper. There, he's going to clear. The smiling Ninja Turtle, that is. Caleb Gilbert. Look ahead. Trevor Keith's only got 3 more ahead of him. He has passed 1 truck over the course of the race, although a few here on this restart. Biggest mover of the day, the driver in front of him, Alex Forget, is up 12, plus 12 for the 19 machine. Solid run, 15th, last on the grid, up to 3rd. Driver having the least great day, we'll say, in terms of losing positions, would be the 77, who's been involved in 2 identical incidents on the front stretch with the same driver. That would be Christopher Schaefer. Of course, minimal damage both times here for 77. We all know him for being the best at saving tires and fuel, being on the strategy call for Grant Thorpe. So he's just biding his time, I'm sure of that. As Forget's going to get around Turner, and here comes TK trying to make it a 3-truck battle. TK is going to easily clear the 7, but it's a crossover from your stage winner, Grant Turner. Poke that thing down to the bottom. See if he can make it stick. Pinched a little bit, had to lift, maybe a touch, and give the spot to Trevor Keith here off of turn number 4. Another one in the belt. Trevor Keith. Got to be wondering how hard these guys are pushing. 11 laps into the run. We see such a big disparity in this field right now. We're looking at, you can see your top 4 here from Sirkovich back to Trevor Keith. Grant Turner now, sorry, your top 4, as Turner gets right to the back bumper of Keith. Include Caleb Gilbert in that conversation as well. He's about 2nd behind your leader. Then it's all the way back, 1.2 seconds to the very lonely Kevin Orlando Jr. And another second back to Dakota Floyd and the hornet's nest that precedes him. Look at this. Fan out to 3 different grooves here. One of the drivers having a stellar under-the-radar day. A couple of them, actually. Parker Johnston up 6 positions. And how about Kyle Diaz hovering right where he started back in the 10th spot. I think he's the odd man out here running the bottom. Everyone else trying to get the high line. Dakota Floyd trying to work the lines as well, get that good momentum down the front stretch by cutting the apron, which is, as I mentioned earlier, a completely legal tactic here. There is no out of bounds at the Kansas Speedway. We saw it on the back stretch, we saw it on the front stretch. Go wherever you want here. You paid for the whole track, you might as well use it. As Justin Ritchie's going to get right up against the fence. And off of turn 4, there's a look at your leader exiting the frame, and the rest of your field just now entering the frame. Closest battle. A little further back here. Ritchie, Johnston. Fighting hard. This group nose to tail behind Dakota Floyd, who's now trying to run the bottom here, see if he can find some speed in this thing. Look at the weather. We're down now to 81 degrees, so a little cooler than how we started, not by much. These two lick it and stick it teammates trying to work together here as Alex Forget just went and stole the lead away. Although it's not a done deal yet, as at the start-finish line, it's going to be about a tire's worth of lead. 19 has over the 5. We dive into turn number 1 and 2. Can we see a crossover here? Oh, looks like we will. Top to bottom, how you like it. Elevator move. Slide job potentially here from Sirkovich down to the bottom. Gonna clip that white line, see if he can get it to rotate. It will not rotate. Gonna get to the outside, just about got into the door of your leader, Alex Forget. And last year's champion, showing he's got what it takes at the 1.5 miles. Gonna try and go wrestle this lead away. Always see the 19 fast in this truck series. Both series really, but he's usually right up at the front. The sharp end of the stick, as they say. Here in the trucks, we're 3 wide. Kevin Orlando Jr. has caught up to this front foursome, and now they're 3 wide. Oh, just about a block there from Trevor Keith. We're scrapping and clawing 50 laps in to the 125-lap race. Orlando rockets around the top. He's going to get both of them here down the backstretch and set his sights on the 7 machine of Grant Turner riding on board here with Trevor Keith. Slowly falling back. He was up there battling for the lead. Got as high as 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. Now back to 6th. Tires maybe giving up a little bit here on Trevor Keith's number 15. Let's look out the rear view. Still a good ways back to Dakota Floyd. Call it 1.2 seconds. But they're running the high side, and they are getting here in a hurry. Let's check out this lead battle, or this battle, not lead battle, this battle. You can see that number, the top number there beside Keith's name, getting bigger. The bad news for Floyd, good news for Keith. You want that number to get smaller if you're trying to catch that driver. Down here into turn number 1 and 2 as the top 6. Top 5, really. Trevor Keith starting to fall back from them and really found themselves in a good battle here. This 4-second Sirkovich, Orlando Jr., who's driven through the field, and Grant Turner, your stage winner, fighting for it. Talk to Kevin Orlando Jr. before the race, as I do talked to most drivers pre-race. He mentioned something interesting to me. His style of racing, he's going to get so close to getting Grant Turner there. Turner's going to go all the way to the bottom here. Got a couple spots. Back to Orlando Jr. One thing he mentioned to me that I thought was really interesting is he told me before the race, his style of driving is not a tire-saving, fuel-saving type of style. He much more prefers to be up on the wheel 100% every lap of the race, which in the Cup car, the Next Gen Series, basically the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series that we're going to see here on Wednesday, that series doesn't really work that well. When you drive that car 110%, you have to have a little bit of give in that car. These trucks, on the other hand, not the case. You go full board the whole time. They don't really give up. And we're seeing that here as he's worked through 5 machines since the start of the race and a bunch more on this run. Kevin Orlando Jr. is now up to the 2nd position in that starry number 27. He is ripping the left side wall here. Still a great battle here for 3rd. Sirkovich, Gilbert, and Turner all kind of falling off just a little bit as Gilbert drives down to the bottom. Floyd just now starting to get in the frame alongside Trevor Keith, who is really starting to fall off. But we're only about 10 to 15 away from hitting pit stops. So the damage, it's almost over, but if the tires are getting good now, you're probably pretty happy with yourself for how you saved them. One driver who is very happy is your leader, Alex Forget, who is well in front of the field here. 7/10 is the largest lead we've seen today. A couple drivers having fun right now. Look to be the ones battling for 3rd, Sirkovich and Caleb Gilbert. One driver having an uncharacteristically quiet day, and you know who I'm going to talk about. The one who isn't leading laps, 7-time winner this year, Jeremy Burns. Sitting here in 7th spot, down 1 from where he started. Just past the fading Trevor Keith, trying to chase down Dakota Floyd. He has not shown much strength here tonight. As Christopher Schaefer hits pit lane. Possibly scheduled, hard to say. He will now fall back to 15th position. Nick Alves up to the 14th spot. But your leader, who is using every inch of this racetrack, and now that lead's going to fall down a little bit more to Kevin Orlando Jr., who's got it down to 0.6 of a second, half a second. Let's ride on board here inside the cockpit of the 27. Doing a great job trying to get around this racetrack. Lead is back up to 6.5 tenths. It's a simple mistake for Alex Forget, although it's not going to cost him at this stage of the race. Grant Turner, Jacob Sirkovich starting to fade here as Dakota Floyd is coming on strong. Might have a 2-for-1 here if he's able to navigate his way around these two. Probably going to happen off the exit of 2. Where's 57 go? Way to the high side. He's got the air. Now it's cut off by the 5. Can he get the run down the back? Nonetheless, he's going to get momentum on Turner. Here comes Burns. Burns to the bottom. Floyd to the top. Behind Sirkovich, who's holding them both up. Sirkovich trying to diamond the exit. That's not going to help. His exit will help Floyd's. Floyd to the middle. He's thinking about it. Still has not found a place to go here. Not found a place to ride. Is now 3 on the top, 1 in the middle. Turner really used the high line there. Top of the middle, I should say. Trying to work those drivers over. Still, this battle persists. They cannot get away from each other, and Floyd and Burns can't get around them. The gap in front of these two, quite significant here. 1.3 seconds up to Gilbert up the road. Turner finally falls back 1 alongside Floyd. thought all three of those drivers were going to be in the wall there. Sirkovich can knock it off at 2. Burns to the bottom of Floyd. This battle for 5th is unreal right now. Sirkovich way high. Floyd to the middle. 5 tries to come down the racetrack. Can't do it. Almost 3 wide here as we go into turn number 1. Don't look now. Harrison is moving up to the front. Turner's heavy into the outside wall. Will Burns be able to clear on the exit? Yes, he will clear the 7 on the exit. Here comes the 45 out of a cannon. 45 to the bottom, 3 wide of Floyd and Sirkovich. Sirkovich falling back quickly here. And here comes Parker Johnston, another driver. Kind of came out of nowhere. As we just crossed over halfway. Pit stops here in the next few laps. Sirkovich heavy in the wall. He's going to lose a couple spots here. Floyd sneaks in front of the 45, but now Burns has gotten around him. They both chase down Turner for 4th. Who is going to hit pit road first? Alex Forget is the answer. He's on pit road right now. Your leader on the pit lane. Anyone follow him? No, he will be the first to hit pit road. It's a dangerous strategy, but if it goes green, it will pay off immensely. The tires have fallen off by 1.4 seconds. Orlando Jr. leads. Caleb Gilbert in tow. Will Gilbert bring it down pit road this time? No, he will not. As he still tries to fight for the lead. I think we can go a few more laps. Burns is in the pit lane. So is Sirkovich making their pit stops. There is the 5, and there is the 72 just in front of them. Battle for the lead on the racetrack. Gilbert, Orlando. Give the spot to Gilbert. Orlando might be pitting this time. Might have been giving that one up to get to the bottom. 27 bring it down. I think he does. Yes, he will. Kevin Orlando Jr. hits pit road. From 2nd. Aggressive entry. He's able to keep it pointed the right direction. Could have been an easy little spin there. Probably wouldn't have brought it to caution, but would have ruined the day. Kevin Orlando Jr. Now, Caleb Gilbert with a 2-second advantage over Grant Turner. This is going to be the battle. He's going to come down pit road first. We got Floyd to the bottom. That must mean he's pitting this time by. Harrison. Diaz going to keep going. Floyd will hit pit road. See at the bottom of the screen. Dakota Floyd on the pit lane. Caleb Gilbert as well on pit lane. Let's check up on the drivers who have pit. You can see there's Alex Forget right there. Just about to catch some drivers who have yet to hit pit road. That's how big of a lead he had. The next driver to pit was Jeremy Burns, who is just now in turns 1 and 2. Battle for the lead here. This is on the racetrack for position. Diaz, Harrison, Turner. They all keep going. Here comes Diaz down pit road. Did Diaz just spin? No, just loose on the entry, getting all of it on this race truck. That leaves 4 drivers to pit. Harrison, Turner, Keith, and Richie have yet to hit the pit lane. Battle for the lead still rages strong. Caleb Gilbert falls back a few here. Gonna cycle out in 9th. About a 1.5 seconds ahead of Dakota Floyd, which is where they were on the racetrack. Turner just about wrecked onto pit road. Side by side. Who's got the earlier pit box? I guess Turner was the pole sitter here tonight, so he should have the last pit stall, but we're still drag racing for the lead here. Who's gonna lead this lap, folks? It should be on pit road here. Looks like Turner's going to get the lap led. Unreal. Trevor Keith also on pit lane. So is Justin Ritchie. Alex Forget should regain the lead here in just a moment. 38 laps was as much as the tank would go for those 4. I thought we had a caution. Oh, my. Saw Forget shoot up the board. Thought we had a caution coming out. That would shake this thing up a little bit. 56 laps remain here at Kansas. Bourget out in front by a full 6 seconds here. And Burns has gained a lot of time. An excellent pit stop for him. It's going to move the 72 up to second. Orlando Jr. behind him. Nick Alves having a tough day. Finds himself 2 laps down with heavy right front damage. Christopher Schaefer is currently 15th in the race. He will finish there. He's off the racetrack. Grant Thorpe is 1 lap down. Justin Ritchie, the last driver in the lead lap, fighting with Trevor Keith. Having a good old battle back here, 13 seconds behind your leader. Remember, Ritchie fighting an illness. Just trying to get through it. These two still going at it. Orlando Jr. and Burns haven't decided who's going to take second spot quite yet. Forget Berube, 6 1/4 up the road. By far the biggest lead we've seen today. That's a combination of having the fastest truck on the racetrack and pitting a comfortable lap before Burns, 2 before Kevin Orlando Jr. and a 1.5 seconds a lap. It adds up quick. It adds up to a big lead for the number 19 machine, who is out for a Sunday drive right now. I was talking about Kevin Orlando Jr. earlier. Drivers like to drive 100% all the time. This guy also fits into that category. Always makes it exciting. I've called him Wild Thing before. I've called him the Kyle Busch of the Cup Series, a driver who you know will always make it exciting and never go down without a fight. Currently leading this race, and remember, he was last year's champion. He can get it done in the truck. No doubt about it. A little further back in the field here. Sirkovich, Johnston fighting for 7th. A couple drivers pit on the same lap. And Harrison, 4-lap fresher tires with Turner right behind him. Trying to spoil the party. This is an interesting time to really have a look at what tires mean. We saw Jeremy Burns pit a lap before Kevin Orlando Jr. was able to gain about 1.5 seconds on the track and catch up. But we see the flip side of this right here. Tyler Harrison hits 4 laps later than the 5 and the 48, and he is now passing him because he has the fresher tire, so it kind of goes both ways. There's a point in the middle, about a lap or 2, as we're 3 wide in front of him here. Oh my goodness. 3 wide per second. About 1 to 3 laps after somebody pits, if you pit, you don't get the benefit of fresher tires. It's got to be 4, 5, 6 or more laps to really feel the benefit of the fresher tires on the long run. If you reactionary pit right after someone, you're just going to lose the time on the racetrack, that 1.5 seconds that the new tires are faster, and you're not really going to gain anything on the backside of the run. That's one of those strategy calls that you really have to be careful of. Is battle per second is getting intense. Burns, Gilbert, and Orlando Jr., 2 of those 3 in the same voice chat. They would be the 2 leading this battle, 54 and 72. Orlando Jr. hanging out in free agent chat here with Floyd and Ritchie. Speaking of Floyd, finds himself back in 5th, not quite stubbornly running the high side anymore. Well, as I say that, he goes right back to the top side. Diaz showing some muscle here right behind him in 6th. Haven't seen the 26 most of the day. Behind them, the 2-lap down injured machine of Nick Alves, who Kyle Diaz is fighting for the final playoff spot. Also fighting me. I mentioned that earlier in the show. I do not have a points graphic for you today. Apologies. Next week, I'm sure. Bradley Cooper is back here on the broadcast. You'll get all the great production he provides. Turner still trying to chase down Harrison. Have not been able to gain any spots since the 45 took the spot away from him on pit road. cleaner stop. This is the field other than your leader, who is well up the road. This is second through 10th. Now getting back to Trevor Keith in 12th. The last driver in the lead lap. That was your field. Of course, Forget here just exiting turn 4. He's the start-finish line now. Here's how big this lead is. Start-finish line now. There is second place. As Burton's getting uncomfortable up there in the perch, watching the beatdown that Forget is putting on this field with about 40 odd laps to go here. Halfway through this fuel run. Let's ride on board for a few minutes here with your leader and see what he's doing. It's right up against the fence. Might even get a better shot of it here off the back bumper. Oh, as he goes down to the bottom. Looks like the move here is high in 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4. For me, it was always run the high side on both ends. I really do like the high side at 1 and 2 here. That's, I think, is where you can make the most time up. You got to be careful here. We're going to ride on board Dakota Floyd on the nose. You got to be careful here, though. You see right here, it's a big bump. And if the car isn't set up right, because we're 3 wide here, the truck isn't set up right, you'll hit the racetrack and it'll just chatter the front end up the racetrack and get really tight for a minute. So that is not what you want. Up here, though, there isn't really a bump. You can run all the way up here, and you can be very aggressive here into the corner. Just got to watch out for that turn 4 wall. It'll get you if you're not paying attention. Should also point out your leader, Alex Forget, here has lost about a second out of his lead back to Caleb Gilbert, his teammate, and the rest of the field. As Gilbert has a bit of a connection moment there. Something to keep an eye on here is that lead was up to 6.7. Now it's down to 5.5 as we work 41 to go. Closest battle on the racetrack is this trio right here. Floyd, Harrison, Diaz. Add Grant Turner to the mix as well. Turner still has not been able to find a way around that 45, who he's been chasing since the pit stop 17 laps ago. 15 laps ago for him. As the tires for Floyd starting to give up a little bit here, he's falling back ever so slightly to the newest tires on the field, those being Tyler Harrison and Grant Turner. Harrison going to get to the inside to be able to clear into 1. Give the 5th position to Tyler Harrison as he clears, yes, off of turn number 2. Burns back to 4th on the slightly older tires. Orlando is 3rd, and Gilbert chasing down your leader. He has 3-lap older tires. The gap now is 5 seconds. It's about 0.2 a lap. That time, 1/10 that your second place driver, Caleb Gilbert, was faster than the leader, as we have a whale of a battle back here still. These 4 have not separated themselves at all. Particularly these 2 orange machines. As Diaz gets the good dive into the corner, but look at the closing rate on the exit. Floyd's not going to get there. He's getting tight. You can tell. Car doesn't want to turn. Diaz going to block him with the racetrack. Take his air away, too. Oh, Floyd almost got in the back of him. Floyd's going to go in the outside wall here. Those are the moves that drive you crazy. You run side by side with the guy. You can't get around him. And the moment he clears you, he puts on the most defensive driving course, goes all the way up to the wall, takes your air away. That is so frustrating. I've been there a number of times. I've done it a number of times, including to Floyd at this racetrack. He taught me how to be fast, and then I took that and beat him a couple times. The rare times I've been able to beat Dakota Floyd, who is really an excellent driver. This time on the wrong side of the strategy. He's got some of the oldest tires in the field. It's right to the back bumper of Grant Turner. Dakota Floyd falls back to 8th here. You got to think he might be regretting the undercut here. He might try and push this one as long as he can, which I think is another 16 laps for the driver of the 57 machine. A little further up front, Burns sandwich in between Orlando Jr. and Harrison as everyone's kind of migrating to the top side here. Not a lot of speed to be had on the bottom as Burns tries it down there. Diaz going to follow suit, and so is Grant Turner behind him. Seems like you can make up some good time out of 4 and into 3. You lose it off of 4, however. As the gap now to the lead is only 4.3. It's been a comfortable 0.2 of a second the last few laps for Caleb Gilbert. Is he able to close in? He can barely even see the leader right now, but he is faster. Let's watch the position battle here. Watch that number. Although he lost time out of 4 there. Watch this number get smaller. See if it does get smaller, in fact. Dakota Floyd's on pit road now. Early shot across the bow for the 57. As Gilbert gained about a 10th in turns 1 and 2. And off of 3 and 4, looks like he's going to about even that out. Gain about a 10th off of turn 4, so another 0.2 up that time. Caleb Gilbert over Alex Forget. But as I mentioned, first driver on pit road, Dakota Floyd now leaving the pit box. Grant Thorpe on pit road as well. Thorpe now 2 down. Dakota Floyd 1 lap down, being the first driver. Hit the pit lane. Remember, he was fading, fell back to 8th. Going to have a long way to go on tires here. He'll be able to make it to the end pretty easily, but will the tires last that long with the speed that are in them? As Harrison's all over the back of Diaz. A couple drivers have pitted 1 lap apart. 4th and 5th is the battle. Orlando Jr.'s fallen back a number of seconds here. He's 2 seconds back in the 27th. I imagine he'll be coming down pit road here pretty soon, as those tires are probably pretty spent. And your lead was just for a moment under 4 seconds, down to 3.9. Pit sequence has started. Dustin Ritchie brings it down the pit lane. There is the 6, following his teammate about 2 laps later. We are still well early. Forget can go at least 7 more. He was the first to hit the pit lane last time using the undercut to his advantage. He's going to try and overcut now and make sure that if a caution comes out, he is in the catbird seat. And you can do that with a 4-second lead. You can do all sorts of stuff. Whatever strategy you want, it's yours. Harrison, Burns, Diaz, and Turner in no particular order still trying to decide who's going to run 3rd here tonight. This is far from decided. As Jacob Sirkovich peels off and hits the pit lane from 10th. That should cycle him back to probably the 11th or 12th position. So I'm curious to see where Dakota Floyd shakes out of this. Here comes Forget, now on pit road. There is your leader, or was your leader. Gilbert's going to take it over. Let's bookmark this. It's going to be 28 to the end, which is basically what he just ran. So if he does exactly what he just did, no more, no less, he might be able to get it done here. Kansas is right after him. Gilbert's coming down pit lane. Realized that the undercut worked against him that time. Diaz stays out. Burns on pit road. It's feeding time. Down at the pit stalls. Diaz going to lead a lap there. Turner right behind him. Remember, Turner won the first stage. He's in the outside wall. Down the backstretch. Well, Diaz hit pit road here. Trevor Keith still on the racetrack. Everyone else is on pit road. Diaz now on pit road. Grant Turner and Trevor Keith stay out. They are the last two to hit the pit lane. As Turner's got basically the whole field a lap down. The only drivers, and he's up against the fence. Only drivers on the lead lap right now are Keith and Diaz. Until Grant Turner gets around to the front stretch, Diaz will go a lap down then. We talked to him earlier. Talked about good racing. Exciting racing. That's what we're seeing here right now as he's getting chased down by the fastest truck here today. That, of course, was the leader, Alex Forget, who pit. He will overtake for third now as Diaz gets passed. He's going to go up there and get his lap back easily as Turner's up in the fence. Make that now 3 drivers on the lead lap. Turner, Keith, and Berube. Dakota Floyd jumped everybody up to second of the drivers who have hit pit road. He still does not have enough to get up there with Alex Forget. It's still 4 seconds. Well, he was able to clear Caleb Gilbert, who is now 2.7 behind him. Now here's the question. We saw Caleb Gilbert take a big chunk out of the lead of Alex Forget. Is there enough time to get to that orange machine in front of him, Dakota Floyd? I would say yes, as we're under 25 to go. The gap is 2.5 seconds, and he is, we'll check it this time by, how much faster? About 0.2 of a second faster, so that math checks out. He should be able to get there about 12 laps. But that only matters if we stay green. It only matters if Grant Turner doesn't keep everybody a lap down. As Forget's pulling away from Floyd, the gap is now 4.3. Floyd, one of the slower cars on the racetrack right now on those old tires. As you see the orange machine trying to catch up to your race leader, Grant Turner, getting all those nice bonus points for leading. Going to shake out to be a really nice points day for Grant Turner. Won the pole, won stage 1, led a bunch of laps. Good day for the 7. Not sure how well the finish will be. We'll have to see how this cycles out, but it cannot be any worse than 14th, basically, who's left in this race. So that is good news, at the very least, for the driver of the 7. Nobody particularly close together on the racetrack right now. These are the 2 closest trucks. Turner going to give a lap back to Dakota Floyd as they have side-by-side off the corner. This is about the worst spot to catch somebody here on fresher tires. Is have them hang off your door all the way down the backstretch. Dakota Floyd should clear here. He will clear out of turn 4, but here comes Caleb Gilbert. The lead now is 1 second. This is the battle for what could end up being second in the race. Harrison is about 1.5 seconds back at Gilbert and a few other drivers. Closest battle now is Burns trying to get around Orlando. Burns pit 1 lap later than the 27. Those numbers, of course, inverted. Transposed, if you will. I guess inverted would be 1 over 27, but they're transposed. Good push here down the front stretch, trying to get all they can get and catch up to the 26 of Kyle Diaz, who's currently in 7th. Gilbert going to clear Floyd easily. That didn't even take 5 laps when we were talking about it. The tire really going away for Dakota Floyd. He has fallen off by a significant amount. See what it is this time by. Last time Floyd only driver up in the 32s. This time by, Floyd with a 31.8, Gilbert with a 31.3. So significant difference here as both Turner and Keith are on pit road here with 20 laps to go. Forget still leads, or he will lead down the front stretch here. Is he's going to get the lead right, or second from Keith right now? There it is, and now he's going to take the lead from Grant Turner. Put the 19 back up to the top spot. He has spent a whopping 43 of the 107 laps we've run today out front of this field. Didn't look too great for him early in the race. Was out there on the older tires, fell back like a rock through the field. But I think that taught him everything he needed to know about how the tires were going to work here today. Again, into turn one, there is your leader, and where is second place? There he is. There's third, and the rest of the field following suit. Big gap. Back behind the 26 to Jeremy Burns, who has slowly but steadily pulled away from Kevin Orlando Jr. at a rate of about 1/10 of a second per lap. Tyler Harrison trying to close up on Dakota Floyd, who is quickly falling back. The gap on tires is 6 laps here. Remember, Floyd was 8th before the pit stop. We'll see where he cycles out. He's currently in 3rd. It looks like he might be able to retain a top 8 position, which would, of course, be a net benefit for the 57. Easy clear for the 45. 26 going to try and do the same. Yeah, should be able to dive down to the inside here. Got arrow blocked a little bit, caught the apron a touch as well. Still enough to be the first orange car in the race. Yes, that matters, probably. Diaz up to 4th. Having a good points day. On a day when Nick Alves is having a bad points day, so exactly what Kyle Diaz wants to see. He might even be able to get 3rd away from Tyler Harrison. Might do it right now, in fact. Big dive to the bottom. Side by side, gonna pinch him. Gonna go below the seam, gonna door bang him a little bit here. How about ya? Off the corner, Harrison knows this is his last shot to be able to defend this position. So once Diaz gets around him, Diaz on the slightly fresher tires, there's gonna be no hope for Harrison. Harrison still pinching him down here, trying to make him burn that stuff up. Diaz is gonna, he's gonna get tight in the center. Does a good job lifting not to wreck both those trucks. But this battle is so tight right now. Not as tight as these race trucks, I bet. Harrison's still hanging on the door. Momentum off the corner. Give it to the 45. Should be even at the line. Give it to Harrison. It is even at the line. 26 got him by an eyelash. Down in the turn number 1 again. Harrison right down on the quarter panel. Diaz gets tight one more time. And Harrison's going to clear under a flock of seagulls. Going to get 3rd spot back. Great racing here. Easily the best battle on the track at the moment, as Floyd can only watch on in those fading tires. Going to be 14 to go this time by for your leader, Alex Forget. And his 4.3 second gap back to Caleb Gilbert. It's 2 1/4 to Tyler Harrison. Diaz obviously right in the boat wake of the 45. But Floyd rounds out your top 5. He's got about a second back to Jeremy Burns in 6th. Orlando Jr. is another 8/10 back. Parker Johnston finds himself, there he is, in 8th spot. Grant Turner, after staying out longer than anyone, is going to fall back to 9th at the moment. Justin Ritchie trying to get that spot from him, although Turner has significantly better tires than Justin Ritchie. Ritchie is in 10th. Trevor Keith has not had the speed today. He finds himself in 11th. That damage really hurt him. I don't think that truck is quite right as it was early in the race when he led a couple laps. He led 4 of them, in fact. Jacob Sirkovich has had a yo-yo of an A. Started up at the front, almost spun on lap number 1. Fell back, worked his way back up through the field. Now he finds himself in 12th. Last driver on the lead lap. Grant Thorpe is 1 lap down in 13th. Nick Alves 3 down in 14th. Driver who really needs a good day, as he is on the cut line for the playoffs, although he will not be after this. Kyle Diaz should be able to go take that spot from him. See about that. With 10 laps to go, that's a quick run through your field here. in the absolute whooping that has been this Kansas race. Alex Forget, 52 of them he's led so far. And the gap is still 4 seconds. Gilbert's really able to dive it into the corner well and gain a lot of time. Sirkovich is going to hit the pit lane. Gain a lot of time into the corner, but it's off the corner that Forget's able to gonna gap it back. You can see Gilbert, as every time he goes into the corner, gains about 3/10. And then Forget gains a 1/4 second back and leaves Gilbert with about 1/10 at the end of the lap out of both corners here. So 1/10 per lap is how much faster 54 is in the 19. Unfortunately, the math doesn't math because you're going to need 38 laps at that rate to catch him. We do not have 38 laps remaining in this event. Unless we go wilder than green-white checkers, which I would be surprised about, since it has been a green race since the end of the stage at lap number 30. Handful of laps left here. Just over a handful of laps left for the 19. Diaz still trying to take it to the 45, Tyler Harrison. These two have been inseparable for a little while. Grant Turner working his way through the field. Remember, he's got the freshest tires, 10 laps fresher than Kevin Orlando Jr. and 15 laps fresher than Dakota Floyd as the last driver to hit here. Orlando Jr. in the outside wall. Turner up to 7th in the 7th, your stage winner. Should be able to clear Floyd like he's standing still, as Floyd still looks like he's going to be a net positive by 1 spot based on the strategy he decided to employ. Rather pedestrian day for Jeremy Burns as well. Not sure exactly what's going on with the 72, who finds himself in 5th. Grant Turner might get him too. This 7 truck is on a roll right now. Only driver left around the 31-second laps are the two who just pit, Turner and Trevor Keith. The gap is 7/10, and the gap in speed is about half a second. So Burns will be under fire in moments. The hard charge at number 7. Let's ride on board with Grant Turner. Started first, led 18 laps, and won that first stage after contact with Nick Alves. Burns on the bottom. Turner ripping the high lane, outruns the middle. They get a good exit here. Be able to see the gap easily from the blimp. You can see how quickly it closes down the straightaway here. Now down to 0.3 of a second. He cut it in half that lap. Both running the high side. Burns trying to defend. This, remember, for the top 5. As we're still keeping an eye on the battle for 4th here. Diaz still pushing for everything he's got to get the back bumper of the 45. Remember, had a shot at it, but elite defending from Tyler Harrison. As with 3 laps remaining, any opportunity you get, you have to take it. Turner gets within a 1/4 second of Jeremy Burns. Burns going to get in the wall potentially. No, right up against it. Turner's in it. They're both in it. Both those white trucks hit the outside wall. Diaz within a 1/10. He's going to dive down to the bottom here. Can he get alongside? No. Harrison going to leg it off the corner. Stretch it out. 2 to go. The gap from 1st to 2nd is now 3.3. Still nothing doing up front. One more shot here. For the 7. Can he get around Jeremy Burns for 5th? No contact on the wall that time. Now Turner to the high side, exactly where he wants to be. White flag coming out in moments. There it is. Alex Forget has taken the white flag. We should see a change for 5th here. Out of turn number 2. Off the corner, Turner in the wall. It's going to be tight. It's going to be drag race. But it doesn't matter. Because your winner tonight dominated the race. And at Kansas, it's going to be Alex Forget to win here for week number 13. In a dominating effort. Dominating effort here. 62 laps led. That's half of the distance, just under. Including running the second fastest lap of the day. Third fastest. Podium for that, too. Great day for Alex Forget. We're going to watch him burn this maxi number 19 down to the ground here. Did get some congratulatory bumps from drivers in his voice chat. Parker Johnston with a T, giving him some love. Should see the 19 burn it down here on the front stretch. I will acknowledge Grant Turner did not get around Jeremy Burns. That gap less than 3/100ths of a second for the 5th position. And here come all of the LMNX Performance Motorsports drivers. Forget trying to get his podium shot here. There they are. A big win for the 19 machine. Great run here tonight. Gonna burn that thing all the way to the ground. He earned it. But we will take a quick commercial break. You've been watching Coastal Financial Truck Series here on Vspeed. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this with our race results of your top 15 drivers here and interviews with your top 3: Tyler Harrison, Caleb Gilbert, and Alex Forget. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss a second of what's about to come. Be back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here on Vspeed, the conclusion here of this Kansas race. Here's how it went down. 2 cautions, 1 for cause, 1 was the stage break that was also technically for cause. Alex Forget from 15th spot, from literally the back to the front, passed every single truck tonight to win by just over 3 seconds over teammate Caleb Gilbert. Tyler Harrison's going to come home in 3rd to round out your podium. Kyle Diaz finishes in 4th. Jeremy Burns hangs on for 5th by 3/100ths over Grant Turner, who won the stage after winning the pole. Dakota Floyd finishes in 7th, so the strategy did work out. He was +1 on that strategy. Orlando Jr. is going to fall back to 8th. Parker Johnston finishes 9th, and Trevor Keith rebounds for a top 10 after what was a frustrating day for the 10. 11th will be Justin Ritchie, last driver on the lead lap. Grant Thorpe found himself a lap down early, never was able to make it back up. Nick Alves finishes 3 laps down after crashing coming to the stage end. Jacob Sirkovich, after starting 3rd, had a tough day. Finishes in 14th. Christopher Schaefer, early exit. He'll finish 69 laps down in the 15th position. And that is what your results look like here today. Let's go catch up with your drivers, starting with 3rd place, Tyler Harrison. All right, let's get him up here in the booth. Tyler Harrison, Morgan up in the booth. You got a copy? Paging Tyler Harrison. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. My microphone was on mute.
I understand the plight. Anyway, P3 here today, started 8th. He led some laps. This truck looked very racy tonight. It looked like you had a lot of speed in it, and then you got a little bit of damage. Why don't you kind of walk me through how your day went?
Yeah, the Avon Studios Toyota TRD truck was definitely really quick around here. I'm definitely a big fan of how this truck races around Kansas. Um, well, the first couple, stages were really just about just trying to figure out what the truck could do in traffic. I figured out what I could do on fresh tires once I got some clean air. But then as the stage was about to end there, Nick Alves got around me, and that's when I kind of figured out what the truck could do on old tires. So that led me to kind of saving for the second half, fix the damage that I got after smacking into the wall, after kind of getting some dirty air there and thinking the truck would stick. And I think that kind of set me back a little bit more on what the pace could have been out of this truck. I feel like probably could have been able to battle for at least second. I don't know if anybody would have had anything for Alex. He's just been lights out in the trucks this season, I feel. So I think it would have been a fun battle with Caleb had I not saved a little bit too much, but still very happy with the podium and what we were able to do tonight.
Yeah, definitely had a lot of speed in the 45 here today. We saw a great battle with Diaz and Grant Thorpe. Sorry, Grant Turner, not Thorpe. Grant Turner in the closing stages of this race here. Why don't you just talk about how nice it is to be able to come down here to the Truck Series and race against the guys you see in the Cup Series. Maybe you don't race with them all the time, and just kind of see like what it's like to race against other guys who you're still familiar with.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just appreciate the mutual respect for space. I mean, I probably gave Diaz about 2 or 3 opportunities to run me up the track, and we both just held our line and had a really great battle there at the end. So big shout out to Kyle Diaz for racing there at the end. I thought he was going to have something for me in those last couple laps because I started to see how he was chopping 3 and 4. But I think he might have just lost the nose there after trying to set up a couple passes. But still, nonetheless, a great run from the 26 and great battle with him. Same thing with Turner. I had a couple close calls with a few guys and even tried splitting at 4 for first place at one point, but I forget who it was that got out up front before I could make that happen. But just all around, just really great, clean, respectful racing out of the group of guys that we had here tonight. It was a ton of fun to race these trucks around here.
Yeah, it looked like a great race all the way through the field, and it was a lot of fun to watch here from my vantage point. But on the subject of shout-outs, who you got here? Who you want to shout out for this 45 finishing in 3rd spot?
Yeah, of course. Of course, shout out to my amazing girlfriend, Sia, for always supporting me every week, whether it be the Truck Series or the Cup Series on Wednesdays. Avid Studios for being on the truck this season, along with Recharge Rally, Mr. Detail, Cars and Wings, Ceramic Pro Cleveland, everybody who sponsors the league, of course, from Chapman Environmental Services to everybody else that sponsors here with us. Coastal Financial, of course, for sponsoring the trucks here. And, big shout out to you guys here. Vspeed for always putting on a great broadcast. Really excited to watch this one back and see some of the amazing racing that you guys got here.
You'll have to wait a few minutes as we're on record mode right now. Better technical difficulties, but hey, we get it done here at VC. We figure out a way. So congratulations, Tyler Harrison, because you also found a way to finish 3rd here tonight. And a good point season is going to continue to get a little bit better for you as we march to the last race of the regular season at Daytona next week.
Yeah, looking forward to that. That should be just equal, if not even more fun and chaos next week. So looking forward to getting to a drafting track with these trucks. Should be fun.
Absolutely. Well, that's Tyler Harrison, your third place finisher. We'll catch you next time, buddy. All right. Up to the second spot on the grid, Caleb Gilbert. Caleb, Morgan up in the Vspeed booth. You got a copy.
I gotcha.
All right. Well, how about you? You ended up cycling out to the second spot in the middle stages of this race, and you never let it go. You tried and you tried and you tried. You had the better tires for the vast majority of the back half of this race, but you weren't ever quite able to close down on Alex Forget. What more did you need to be able to set yourself up to go get this win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, pit road was really the difference. Of course, the 1 week I don't practice pit road, we get 2 green flag stops. Um, so that killed me. I lost a lot of time there, and like that second or the first run, I separated myself by like 2.5 3 seconds, and then on pit road entrance I gave it all back. So then I was with the group again, and then I separated myself over the course of that run. Um, Back to about 2 seconds, and Berube edged the gap out a little bit. And anyway, just rinse and repeat, do it all over again. The last stop was a little bit better, uh, but probably more so because the guys behind me got mistakes. Like Burns was 2 seconds back at the time of that, and then he came out of pit road 3 seconds back, and then ended up being a pretty decent gap. So everything kind of checked out there. Just needed to be a lot better on pit road, and Berube is really good getting in and out here.
As I was saying on the broadcast, there is no driver who drives harder at any given moment than that 19 machine. And that is also true on and off of pit road. But, I mean, fun race tonight. I mean, what do you have to say just about the quality of racing we saw? We saw only 2 cautions, both in the first 30 laps, one coming to the stage end. But we saw plenty of 2, 3, 4. Never quite saw 5 wide, but some crazy racing here tonight.
Yeah, the guys did a great job from what I could see. Kansas is one of those tracks where you're prone to a little more slide jobs and a little different tire strategies, and everybody was really respectful. Once we kind of got sorted out based on speed, it becomes a whole lot easier than at that time. But right before the stage, there's so many different tire strategies and guys on older, guys on two. It gets a little crazy there. So with the caution at the stage, guys racing for that playoff point, that's so important. That's one, and then somebody just makes a simple mistake, and if that's the biggest problems you have in a race, everybody did a great job. So shout out to the league for doing their thing.
Yeah, I would echo that everyone did a great job here tonight. And what is a finish like this, even though it's not in the Cup Series? I'm going to allude to the Cup Series. It hasn't been the greatest of seasons for you over there. What is a finish like this in the Truck Series? How does that translate to the Cup Series? Does it give you a shot in the arm, a little bit of momentum to maybe go turn things around up there?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm always going to be, around a certain, fifth or so number, give or take. Just getting into victory lane tonight was a good, starting point. Just because I was equal with Berube on speed, just a little marginal difference on pit road was enough to build a gap over 100 laps or so. But in the Cub side, I just can't get the win in the bag. I don't know where I'm at after Charlotte because I had some connection issues. But going into that race, I was third in points. So for third in points, kind of like last couple seasons, that's fine with me. It just stinks when it comes playoff time and you might. I know I had a Las Vegas stage and that's it. So. Unfortunately, having to rely on final position in the regular season as your playoff points, it's not too easy. So hopefully, the second half of the year we can build on that. Hopefully, grab a win, maybe two, and things will come along from there.
Absolutely. Well, while we got you up here, up in the Vspeed booth, why don't you give us a shout out, some shout outs of who helped you get here to the second place finish?
Yeah, shout out to all our sponsors, Coastal Financial, Chapman Environmental, all about bugs, Bug Kicker. You guys up in the booth always do a great job. All the team guys, we had a good crew tonight. Burns, Nick, Berube. That's another thing. It's always hard to beat your teammates when they're so dang fast every week and they're on the same strategy almost as you. Um, and those guys are all good. They all have their moments. Even on Wednesdays with Rob, it's such a good group of guys. And any bit of advice we can give each other can go a mile at times. So shout out to those guys.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on second here tonight. You definitely earned it. Maybe you had something for him if we got to let you raise caution, but that caution did not fall. So Regardless, congrats, Caleb, and we'll catch you next time.
Appreciate you.
You bet. That's your second place finisher, Caleb Gilbert. Now on to the man we all want to talk to. Everyone was trying to catch him tonight, Alex Forget. Alex, up here in Vspeed Victory Lane, it's Morgan. You got a copy?
No, no, I don't.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're in trouble then. Regardless, congratulations here tonight. Absolutely put it on. You led half a lap shy of half of this race. Just tell me about it. What were you doing so much different? If you want to share anything like that, just tell me about this race from top to bottom.
Well, I like practice because I came in late with like 5 minutes to go for practice. So I just barely got my steering offset and everything set for qualifying. And I kind of screwed that up. Started last. So for the stage, I decided to take it easy. Just go on the bottom, try to see if it was the way to go. It was the way to go for passing people at the beginning, but then halfway through the run, we could like migrate towards the top. And when I said it's time to go, I went through through the rest of the field and right there up front, stayed there and enjoyed the lead the rest of the way.
Yeah, this is one of those few racetracks, as you obviously noticed, that you start off on the bottom, but the groove migrates high, and you really played that well. As I saw you were, from what I remember, running high in 1 and 2, low in 3 and 4, even when you were 6 seconds out in front of the field here. But I think the difference, this is what Caleb had said, the difference really for you tonight was getting on and off of pit road. While you were
Yeah,
fast, don't get me wrong, absolutely killer on the racetrack, you were able to really extend that gap with the pit strategy and getting on and off pit road. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what goes into a good strategy and what goes into being fast on and off a pit road?
it's dividing how you're managing the tires versus when you're pitting. Um, Depending on how many times you have to stop during the last stint. So if it's only once and you only have like to run it full, you have to take care of your tires. But we were running a little bit short of full, so I was running a little bit harder. That's why I was keeping running the top at, most of the time when I was in clean air, just to make sure that I was keeping most momentum up while still saving a little bit of tires. Um, but then entering pit road is a huge part of where I gain spot time. I think just because I can slam on the brakes and away. Truck was drifting entering the pit road, but still under control at the end. Um, the pit limiter that I have is really helping me get the maximum out of the speed that I can get on pit road. That's where I think I gain most of my time.
And a little question for you. You don't have to answer this. One Canadian to another. What unit of speed do you use on pit road?
To keep it easy with communication, I keep it in miles per hour.
Interesting. Interesting. Anyway, Alex, again, massive congratulations here for winning at Kansas, absolutely dominating this race here tonight, the back half of it anyway. Not quite the fast lap. You got close. Grant Turner got you by 4/100ths earlier in the day. But this race has to be a success in your eyes, I would imagine. And let's parlay this into your shout outs and who you want to thank for winning, for helping you win this race.
Yeah, well, again, it was a really hard test to just get up front. So I wasn't really trying to go for a fast lap. I was just managing everything, and it went super well. So on that note, I want to thank Nicholas, my captain, and his sponsor, Coastal Financial. I also want to thank Chapman Environmental Services, Vspeed, Maxi, SQDC, and my beautiful girlfriend, Jessica.
Fantastic. I feel like I have that one written down. You were ready for that. That was well said.
I
So
am tired of getting laughed about like me not being ready for those interviews. So I wrote something down before getting in here just to be sure.
love the confidence. You're dialed in. Well done, Alex. And hopefully this can parlay into some Wednesday success as well as we head to, I believe, Nashville, right, on Wednesday?
Yep.
All right. Well,
Following the schedule.
you may be the concrete king. So we'll see how that goes here in a couple days' time. Anyway, this is your winner here tonight, folks. Alex Forget, big W here in Kansas. Congratulations, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Merci beaucoup.
Fantastic. More French. Anyway, that is going to do it here for our show. Hopefully, you have enjoyed what you've seen here from the Coastal Financial Truck Series. And let's make sure to join us next week as we go to Daytona, the World Center of Racing in the background, to determine the finale of the regular season, who's going to make the playoffs, who is going to be left out in the cold. We're going to find out down in sunny Daytona Beach. Don't want to miss the race 1 week from today. I got to thank everyone here at Vspeed and at Racing Revolution for allowing me to do this. Thank all the admins here in the Truck Series. I got to thank everyone who makes this thing possible, everyone at Vspeed, Eddie, Bradley, Adam, Logan, everyone else who makes this thing possible, all the other producers and commentators. I've been Morgan Cook. Have a great night. Thank you. We'll catch you next time here on Vspeed. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe here to the channel so you don't miss a moment of this great racing action. You found us, you might as well stick around a little while longer. Catch you next time, everyone.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.